I guess the best thing to start with is what changed and what was said in that dressing room between the first half into the second?
You know what? I think we took a breath and just kind of composed ourselves for the most part. Again, there's a lot of emotion in your first game, home opener. Again, it's a special night tonight too because we made sure all our families were here because we're going to have dinner with everybody afterwards. So it's a lot of things going on here tonight, and I think we just got a little rambunctious and we wasted a lot of energy that first half trying to do a little bit too much. And I think it's just halftime was good. Check. Let's just take a breath and do what we've been doing for the last month as far as training camp goes and see where it happens.
Lacrosse is such a fast-paced game. So when you say take a breath, is it fair to say that maybe in the dressing room you kind of slow it down, ease that heart rate a little bit, and you're able to come out more composed in the third quarter?
Yeah, 100%. And again, even on the floor, it doesn't always have to. Again, we're trying to talk about playing with pace, but there's those opportunities in the situations where sometimes good pace is just kind of pulling out, making sure we're all settled and ready to go on the floor, and then we can attack. And I thought we did a better job of that, recognizing that. I thought our fitness level was really good, I think, towards the end as well. We were still able to push, and I think that's kind of what pushed us over the limit as far as the scoreboard went, is that we were continually able to push the ball up the floor. And the second half, our great adjustment was we got off the floor. They took it to us in the first half, and I think that was a great adjustment by our guys that we just kind of recognized that and made sure as much as we were going forward, we were doing the same coming back.
I think two big things that stuck out were in the second half, almost completely eliminating their transition game. Every time they got back into the offensive zone, it's 5 strong. And then on the physicality side, felt like you guys were maybe a bit more physically engaged, really checking the body. Do you see both those things?
100%. Yes, it's exactly what happened. I think it's just that we made that conscious effort to take away their trannies, slow it down, so we can play 5-on-5. And again, we want to play tough, and we want to be tough to play against. And I think that you just said that the second half we were much tougher and we were a lot more physical, especially in our zone.
Defensively, you guys were really solid, but you have to talk a little bit about your goaltender, right? Riley Hutchcraft, that's not an easy situation to come in the middle of a game early, and he proved to be really strong.
100%. Again, it was he let in 2, but he stopped the bleeding in that second quarter, and then just shut the door until a couple late in the fourth quarter. So he did a real good job, and it just gave our guys that little bit of confidence that we can, press out a little bit more as well. And if we make a mistake, he was there to shut the door for us. Yeah, so he had a great game, and I'm also going to jump on that as well. Posty had a great game for us. He just got stronger and stronger. Again, won a bunch of key face-offs in that fourth quarter for us, and again, for a guy that hasn't had much box experience, we threw him into the fire last year for 6 games. Again, he's developing into a pretty good player here for us.
Kind of an all-hands-on-deck effort there. And to go back to Hutchcraft for a second, we just talked with him. 6 years in the league. It's his first career win. I think this one really meant a lot to him.
100%. And that's the thing about Hutchie is Hutchie understands his role, right? Again, we got a pretty good one in Hartley there. But he understands he's going to get thrown into this kind of situation. And I think the way he's played well. He had a great summer plan. It's just continued into our training camp. And I think this year we have all the confidence that he's going to do the job for us and tonight is proof in the pudding.
This league can break down into a game of runs where one team scores X amount in a row and the other does the same. But to score 8 unanswered is pretty difficult, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think they got 5 or maybe 6 on us too there to kind of extend it a little bit in that first half. But yeah, for our group to, again, I still think we're really young, especially out that front door here right now. We got a couple of guys that are in their second, third years. Turner's probably the most. Keogh's been here around, right? But we're young, and to have that kind of composure, I think, just goes to the messaging and the lessons we are carrying forward from last year. And again, it's game 1. There's a lot of stuff we got to improve upon, but tonight's a good one.
Last thing I'll ask. Connor Fields, Ryan Smith have big offensive nights, which probably isn't anything new. That's kind of their MO. But in some ways, especially in the second half, their offense comes as like sort of stepping up as leaders. It goes back to a point you made earlier in training camp where you said you don't need to wear a letter to be a leader on this team, right?
100%. And that's exactly what our number one righty and our number one lefty is going to do for us at the end of the day, right? So, and again, and to that point too, we had some good secondary scoring. Matt Gilray getting a couple big ones in the third quarter there. A little pick and roll with Austin was a thing of beauty as well. So we got a lot of contribution from a lot of guys, and that's what it takes.